iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, to the Concord Speedway for week number 2 for the RS Button Boxes Big Ten Super Series here at the Concord Speedway. My name is Roger Muth. Alongside me, my trusty co-host from the upstate New York area, Al Smith. Week number 2 here. These drivers are all back at the same speedway. The only thing that's changing tonight is 2 things: no tires and a shorter race.
Yeah, these guys are going to put on one heck of a show. Last week, it was the driver of that number 20, I believe it's the number 26 there, Devin Landry, picking up the win, Roger. And what an exciting race that was. We saw strategy, that long green flag run. Well, all of that out the window here tonight as we get ready to go with a shorter distance. And like you just said, no tires in the pits. So these drivers are going to have to take care of these tires and also stay out of trouble as we get ready to go with tonight's feature event.
10 cars have logged into the server here tonight at the Concord Speedway, and we are going to host tonight's race. This is how it's going to be. There is going to be 10 drivers. All drivers are lined up as of the way they finished last week, except the top 2. They will switch. It's a 2-car invert. So right there you see the Ryan Coons Motorsports, number 26 of Devin Landry. He actually will roll off from number 2 here tonight. So while we're already set with cars onto the grid, race fans, it's time for us to walk through our starting lineup here tonight. Starting lineup is brought to us by our friends over at RS Button Boxes. This is week's number 2 starting lineup. Starting on the front row, the Keatman Performance entry. This is Mark Keatman in car number 52. He had the car to win last week. This week he'll start on the pole. Devin Landry was last week's winner. He will roll off from P number 2, it does look like here tonight, scheduled to roll from P2. Back into the 3rd position, driving the 110 entry. It's the RS Center. The driver out of Georgia will roll 3rd. Brad Carpenter, the Bob's Pet and Pond entry, will start 4th. 5th will go to the 7NY of Luke Baldwin, who will roll from the 5th position. 6th here tonight, driving car number 5 of New England, it's Tom Scully. Back into the 7th position, the Zap Motorsports, number 6 of Rusty Modesty. Starting back to the 8th position, driving car number 15. He had a really strong car last week. Unfortunately, not going to get the finish he thought he deserved. This is Kyle Dayneck. Starting back into the 9th position, driving the Triple L Motorsports, RS Button Boxes, number 55 of Jeremy Little, and the Rothery Motorsports. Harold Rothery driving car number 1 here tonight. That will be your 10-car field, brought to us by RS Button Boxes.
Well, Roger, 75 laps is the distance. 0 tires in the pits and a short time to get there. And we got a stout field of super late models here as a pace truck cuts into the backstretch pit entrance. They're going to come through turns number 3. We are going to be underway here tonight.
round number 2 about to go. Green flag right there as they come out of turn number 4. The green flag is in the air. Put 75 laps on the boards here tonight as we are racing here at the Concord Speedway here. And here comes that number 52, Keatman, down to the bottom side with that black number 52. A lot of memories with that car, and he'll lead lap number 1 here this week. And everybody has already gone single file inside the top 5. You have to jump outside the top 5 to find the first battle of cars here that are side by side. It's the Fistful of Bourbon, number 15 of Kylo Danick. He was to the outside of that number 6 of Rusty Modesty. Modesty going to fall back into position number 8 for the time being. Everybody single file right around the bottom. We call this a short race here out of just 75 laps for these drivers tonight, except it's not really that short because these drivers tend to make these races run long green flag laps.
Yeah, a lot of clean racing here in the Big Ten Super Series, and they pride themselves on that. They got the best drivers on the service out here running right now. We got a bid for your number 2-3 spot. The number 7 NY of Luke Baldwin took a peek to the inside of that Bang Energy 110 of RS Center. Can't do anything with him now. Falls about 4 car lengths off the back bumper. But the low end lap will go through the dog leg right here. He had to look to the inside, and well, a little bit further deep in the back, Rusty Modesty go to the outside. That's going to allow the RS button box number 55 of Jeremy Little to move on by. So Little up 1 spot into that 8th position as he'll fall in behind the 15 of Bodanic.
So those drivers switch spots, and then Luke Baldwin is actually going to take over P number 3 there from RS Center, so he'll get the 7NY up into P number 3. RS Center, though, we saw him last week save his Bang number 110 right up until the end of that race, and then all of a sudden it was like a light switch in the last 26 laps of the race, and RS Center ended up finishing, I believe it was, if my notes do read right, he finished 3rd last week. And, well, that's why he started in the 3rd position. But look for RS Center to save the tires here tonight. Remember, race fans, we have 1 set of tires. That's the tires you start on. And Scully is saying, well, I got them. I'm going to use them. He was sideways in the Raccoons setup shop number 5 that time through the dog leg down there. And we call that turn 2 as he right now runs ahead of that number 15, the Fistful of Bourbon, number 15. But he is all over Carpenter as they enter 3.
All over the backside, now to the inside. Contact off of turn number 3. And around will go to 31 of Carpenter off the front bumper of the number 5 of Tom Scully. And Scully will pull away here on the front stretch as they were racing hard for that number 6 position. And that's going to send both of those drivers to the back of the field. Their heavy left side damage on the 31's left rear quarter panel of that Bob's Tree or Pet Services number 31. He'll catch up to the backside of the field. Let's see if the truck has it pulled up.
And this is what the replay is going to show here tonight. Watching if we can get it to where. There it is. There you see the 5 dive down to the inside, and Carpenter a little sideways, and unfortunately the 5 was down there. Both drivers should be able to continue on here tonight. I don't believe too much damage to either one of those super late models, so we should be able to go ahead and keep these cars all onto the speedway. Let's ride on board here with the number 5 it is actually of Tom Scully. Actually, oh, there it is. I was going to say the truck was having problems because he is having one of those electrical issues, Al, on car number 5. There you see just slight contact and both cars come to a stop, but every driver will be able to pull away here.
And Scully going to get sent to the towel for his interest in there. But Roger, just taking a quick peek at the track temperature. You got any eggs? Would you? We can go down there. We can make some sunny side up eggs down on that racetrack. 144 degrees and no sets of tires on the racing surface right now. These tires are going to be melting the Hoosier rubber right off the tread of these race cars.
Well, I don't have any eggs, Al, but I am a big fan of bacon, so maybe if we can get some bacon from the concession stand, we can just throw it out here. Nothing like a little bit of gasoline, a little bit of oil, and some of that great black grit down there. That is the tire marbles that are going to be definitely up to the outside groove here tonight, because this track is going to wear these tires, especially at the temperature that they have here tonight. Of course, we do got to thank Austin Edwards from the Edwards Setup Shop for providing this setup here for the Big Ten Super Series. All 5 weeks, setups will be built by Austin Edwards, who's not competing with the Big Ten Super Series this season, but still out there making the setups. And we got to thank him for putting such a hot rod tune-ups underneath these cars because, man, these Johnson chassis really work with his setups. As we're back to Green Flag Racing, tire spin there for Landry. Center not able to do anything. Here comes Luke Baldwin back down to the inside. He got a little tight down there in the corner, number 1. Started to push the front tires of that 7NY, but it looks like he's actually going to be able to clear RS Center, putting Center back to the outside. Here comes the fistful of bourbon, number 15, O'Danick to the inside.
O'Danick down at the inside. He'll let off the gas pedal, roll it, slide up, almost getting into the left rear quarter panel to bang that 110 of Center. That time sideways, got a fistful of wheel in the turn number 3. He'll hold on to it. Here comes Jeremy Little. He'll take a peek to the outside, dialing in that RS button box number 55, trying to crack the top 5 for the first time this season.
Little had a really fast car last week. Unfortunately, had a little bit of a damage on his number 55 and did not get the finish at all where he wanted to. It was 10th place last week for him. He only was able to complete 94 laps before that car was loaded back up onto the trailer and headed home back to Greenville, South Carolina. Tonight,
one car around on the backstretch. The 31 of Carpenter has gone around. He'll face the nose in. Got loose through the dog leg. Yellow number 2 coming out here on lap number 18.
Bob's Pet and Pond, number 31. That Ford will get refired. He did spin it out of turn number 1. The veteran of Brad Carpenter here tonight. Let's take the look back and see what happened to Carpenter. Him in the 5 of Scully battling once again back here. And, oh, yeah. Tapping that same quarter panel from the 5 once again. Going to send the Bob's Pet and Pod number 31 around. So those two drivers have now found each other twice here this evening. And we'll see if anybody can have anything, though, here in the late stages for Mark Keatman. He's already been able to lead every lap so far that we have ran here tonight. The barbecue pit stop entry. The BW3 Grill and Bar car out front here tonight. And Al, I believe he's got the bagels and beyond on the hood. You love those bagels.
I do. I love the cinnamon raisin there, or maybe even a blueberry raisin. But it'll give me a little bit of that cream cheese that I think would be melted by now. But I did notice something while watching that replay of that latest incident, Roger. It looked like the 5 started the fishtail, had to catch the car, and when he caught it, well, the left rear quarter panel of Carpenter's car was in the way of the right front, and around goes. So already some bad blood. Temperature's already hot, and these drivers will be needing a lot of drinks inside the race cars here today at the Concord Speedway. Very, very hot and muggy day down here. And I was just talking about Brad Carpenter, or Jeremy Little, drove all the way from Greensville, from Concord, and they had to put a brand new front clip on that number 55, and having a great showing, already up 3 positions with that 55 here tonight.
So with Jeremy Little moving up spots here tonight, it does look like car number 5 has been parked by the officials here tonight. Per the Big Ten Super Series rule books, 2 caution rule is in effect here at the Concord Speedway for the hometown track series. And, well, that was the second caution flag here within 20 laps. So, unfortunately, it does look like Scully's going to have to go watch from the infield, the top of his hauler here tonight. But we are ready for the restart here. It'll be 22 laps into the books, and it'll be Keatman and Landry once again on the front row.
They slam on the accelerator. Drag race down to the turn number 1 is going to see Keatman hold on to it. Here comes Baldwin to the inside. Can he get there? No, the door will be shut on that number 7. Down here, crossover in the turn number 3. Landry took a peek to the inside, couldn't quite do anything with it, as now the top 4 cars run single file. Side by side, though, for the 5th spot as Jeremy Little works the outside of the speedway.
1 car around on the front straightaway. Harold Rothery has gone around as, sideways for Kyle Danick. He is going to be able to hang on to the fistful of bourbon as he's had a fistful of wheel with that Mustang all night long. Rothery did get car number 1 refired on the front straightaway here. So our officials tonight say we will stay green flag 50 laps this time by when we come back around here for Keatman, as he is the race leader. As we look on board here, facing back with the RS button box onboard camera, facing the second place driver, the Ryan Coons Motorsports Studio 10 wraps of Devin Landry right now, just stalking your race leader. And he's got a brand new paint scheme on car 26 this week. And I believe they just didn't quite have enough time to put the headlights. You can tell it's a Ford, Al. It's your favorite.
Oh yeah, that Ford really hounding the back side of the 52 at Keatman. Remember, Keatman running this car is a replica of what his father ran in the actual Big Ten Super Series, and while putting a good show out there, said we love seeing it out front. Last week in the interview, he said, well, I'm going to try to put it out front a little bit more for you since you loved it so much, and right now he has that 0.4 of a second lead over the 26 of Landry. As they work around here, everybody's single filing it out around the speedway. And Roger, we are clicking off laps right now, but the track temperature really playing a havoc, already slowing down 0.4 of a second since the green flag is dropped with these tires.
And something has happened to the 7NY of Luke Baldwin. He has now lost all of his spots. He's back to running in the 8th position. The youngster out of New York has now dropped from inside the top 3. Remember, he was running 3rd. Luke Baldwin, something happened. That car pushing once again down to turn number 1. That Ford Mustang GT. Something is wrong. He is going to bring the 7NY to pit road.
Yeah, Baldwin coming down the pit road. Can't hear the radio transmission between the driver and crew. Looks like maybe some right front damage on that 7NY as he rolls down here. He'll go down 1 lap at least to your race leader, Mark Keatman, who is really starting to stretch it out. About 10 car lengths over the 26 of Landry. RS Center runs there in spot number 3. Then it's a great battle for 4th as O'Danick has gotten back around to 55 a little. And here comes Modesty. He's going to try to crack the top 5 as they run behind the 55 with Jeremy Little.
Don't forget, Brad Carpenter is back there, that green number 31. You see him. He has been spun around twice here tonight. And remember, absolutely no tires down in the garage stall. So all they were able to do is beat that left quarter panel back out just a little bit for Carpenter. And they sent the Bob's Pet and Pond Ford back out onto the speedway. And now he is battling here for 6th. Possibly, if he can get himself around Modesty, then he can go after Jeremy Little, who's sitting there in the 5th position. And then it's just O'Danick right there in the fistful of bourbon, number 15. Jeremy Little right now looks like maybe he heated up that right front tire just a little bit. He has fallen back just a little bit off the back bumper of car number 15 here on lap number 35. It is still Mark Keatman out front here tonight. He has led every lap as he comes back across the stripe. It'll be 35 laps completed here, closing in on the halfway home marker tonight in round number 2 here at the Concord Speedway for the RS Button Box's Big Ten Super Series.
Keatman doing a great job right now out of the front of this one. His last lap time 1/10 faster than anybody else on the racetrack. Devin Landry just made me a liar. Matches the last time by. So he's quick right now. Keatman 1 second gap over Landry. Landry came in tonight after picking up the win 1 week ago as your current points leader, has 10 points gap over Mark Keatman. It's a 10-point swing in between each position in the standings inside the top 5, and then it goes a little bit more than that, Roger, but right now these guys, they will be tied for the race for the championship standings if the checkered flag were to fall right now. But we got another 36 laps to come across the stripe, this time off turn number 3.
And we have one heck of a battle back here for that 4th position. Little was to the inside of O'Danick, and then he got sideways. That car got tight, and now here comes Modesty. Modesty taking a bid to the inside down to turn number 1. Not going to quite have the power to be able to rocket down there into the corner to get underneath the 55, so he falls back into line. It does seem like Jeremy Little maybe has a little bit faster car than the 15. He just keeps making little mistakes, and on these short tracks, Al, you know it just like I do. You got to be dang near perfect here to run up front with these boys. And, well, any short track, you make the littlest bobble, littlest mistake, and it makes huge impacts for the next 2 laps.
It does. These cars are gripped up with the temperatures the way they are. They're going to be very loose and hard to handle around here as they work down the back stretch through the little kink in the turn number 3. And these cars, Roger, are very, very line sensitive. But with the temperature the way it is in these drivers, you see the number 1 of Rothery working the outside of the racetrack. He's gone down 1 lap to your race leader. Remember, he spun a few laps ago, and that caused Modesty have to check up. Caught him in a very fast portion of the racetrack right there through the dogleg. You want to be hard on the gas through that section of the racetrack.
So that'll give Little a little bit of breathing room. O'Danick has a little breathing room also. Modesty and Carpenter still stacked up together here, and it does look like the youngster, the number 7NY of Baldwin, something is really amiss down there. He's still sitting on pit road with car number 7, so he's multiple laps down. Looks like 14 laps down to the race leader of Keatman, who will come by this time. He is putting on a dominating show. He has opened up a 1-second lead over Devin Landry. RS Center is still sitting in the 3rd position. So the 3 drivers that did finish 1, 2, and 3, well, they're running 1, 2, and 3 again here tonight. Just flip-flop the top 2 spots.
Just paying attention here right now. Track temperature still hovering at that 144, Roger. So, did you find any bacon?
You know what? The concession stand told me. I did ring down to the concession stand. They told me you ate it all before the race.
I was hoping they would not tell you that.
Yeah, but what I can tell you here tonight, Al, is, usually you're the one that heads on down to the Karma Salon and Day spot. Well, tonight, before I came, I went over for a quick shave, quick buzz. Let me tell you, I got my GQ on here tonight, thanks to the fine folks over at Karma Salon and Day Spa.
Yeah, I had to wear the sunglasses up here. The shine really doing well off the top of that dome piece you got.
Hey, it's summertime still here, Alan. We're going to rock it till the end of the summer before as soon as it gets a little cool out, we got to put one of those Turn 3 Racing beanies on over the head because it definitely gets cold up here in Pennsylvania. You know that from up there in New York. When the snow comes in and the car covers go over the race cars, well, that's when I hibernate.
Yeah, that's a sad time, but already 25 laps to go in this 75-lap competition here tonight, and Keatman really taking him out behind the woodshed and starting to cut up the field. 1.5 seconds over Landry. Center back there about 4 seconds off the back bumper of Landry, and he's opened up a nice gap. But the battle still rages on for that 4th position. Jeremy Little has reeled back in and dialed him up on the RS button box, number 55, trying to find a way around O'Danick.
Yeah, I think we could have just watched this battle right here all night long because these 2 drivers have swapped it back and forth. Jeremy Little gets to the inside occasionally. He's tried the outside a time or 2. He just cannot grab a fistful of that 15 machine and put it in his rearview mirror. What I can tell you, though, is they're actually running down RS Center also. Now you see Jeremy Little trying to maybe dime it off the corner just a little bit, get better run down the straightaway, but he's actually losing a little bit of ground in that RS button box as number 55. That Triple L Motorsports driver's got 22 laps to go to pass O'Danick and maybe even catch the 110 of RS Center. It's going to be just 21 laps to go this time by. Mark Keatman, in his father's replica number 52, has led every lap here tonight, starting on the pole virtual of that invert we had here tonight. We inverted the top 2 drivers, and well, if he could possibly hang on 20 more laps to go, we don't want to jinx it, Al. I hope you're knocking on some wood over there because these drivers right now don't want to see a caution flag, especially if you're Keatman. Maybe if you're Landry or Center, you'd like to see one. But remember, no tires left down in the pit, so it's all mano-a-mano for the next 19 laps here around this tricky little 3-corner track that unfortunately is no longer down there. These drivers all are racing here on the iRacing.com platform. iRacing, of course, laser scans to perfection all racetracks, and fortunately, we had iRacing go down there to Concord before the track. Unfortunately, met its final demise, and they got it scanned, and we can always live on, just like the Big Ten Super Series lives on here on the iRacing.com platform, thanks to the fine folks over at iRacing.
It's such a shame that this track, this one, putting on a great show once again here. The battle for 3rd, though, starting to shape up. A half second separating the number 15 of O'Danick and the 110 of Center. That's a half second back to Jeremy Little. So these guys really starting to close in. Going to be a 3-car battle here towards the end of this one. As they cross the stripe, it'll be 15 laps to go for your race leader, who's now 2 seconds in front of Devin Landry.
Well, they have this battle going on up here. There's also a battle right behind them for the 6th position. Carpenter to the inside of the number 6 of Rusty Modesty. Modesty running the outside of the Speedway in the Sinclair Oil number 6 Supra. As the Bob's Pet and Pond Ford says, I got a little speed here. The independent racer will take over P number 6. So Carpenter now has the 6th position. With 14 laps to go, he would have to run a 3.5 seconds up the road so he could find Jeremy Little. And Little is back onto the back bumper of the Fistful of Bourbon number 15. 13 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, that right there is the battle for the Karma Day. So Karma Salon and Day Spa, excuse me, I'll get it out eventually, for the hard charge of the race, which is worth a fistful of $5 or $1 bills times 5, Roger. So a lot of money on the line here tonight. They work down in the turns one. So those drivers are tied. Right now, the hard charger award would go to that number 15 of Kyle O'Danick, but he's got the 55 of Little, who would like to wrestle that away from him.
Yeah, and right now, that is the battle for the 4th spot. O'Danick had that car sideways that time out of 3. We'll see if he gets a little bit better run. You see Little able to try and keep that 55 a little bit lower through the dog leg, that second turn back there. This time, the Little's going to slide the tires. Double high five from the flagman this time. It is just 10 more laps to go here. Your race leader is 2.5 seconds out. It's still Keatman. Landry is still sitting there in second, but RS Center, you have company. And it is car 15 and car 55 now that have closed up. It is almost going to be a 3-car battle. I believe by the time we have about 6 laps to go, it definitely will be nose to tail for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, and it is a battle of Toyota versus Ford versus Chevrolet. 3 manufacturers trying to make it onto the podium right now. Is the RS Center Bang Energy Toyota on the front of this one. He's got that fistful of bourbon Ford Mustang breathing down his neck. They ran him down. Now Center starting to actually put a little bit of gap as Little puts the pressure to O'Danick with 7 laps to go. Your race leader, meanwhile, coming off the dog leg in the turn number 3. He'll have 6 laps to go. She just got by the number 1 of Rothry to put him down to a second lap here as we race here. RS Center loose. He'll move back 2 positions. Trouble for RS Center.
That's unfortunate for the driver out of Georgia, as RS Center will go from running 3rd back to 5th in the blink of an eye, just like that, as we clicked over to watch your race leader of Keatman for just a second. Now it is going to be O'Danick sitting in 3rd. Jeremy Little has a chance here to get his first ever podium with the Big Ten Super Series. 5 laps to go, just 5 more trips around the speedway. Actually, it's going to be 4 because Keatman is just that far across. He's across the line. He's half a track ahead of these drivers back here for 3rd.
Yeah, Keatman really putting on a clinic right now. Landry still 2.5 seconds behind him. Would need a miracle to happen. Now Little takes a peek to the inside. Jeremy Little down on the apron, gets the car upset. That allows O'Danick to pull away. Get a higher entry in the turn number 3. Off the corner, 3 laps to go for these drivers. They cross the stripe, but all eyes are on Mark Keatman, who comes off turn number 3. He'll get the parallel flags. 2 laps to go.
So with just 2 laps to go, these drivers back here have 2.5, but boy, this is the best show on the speedway. Keatman is still out front by over 2.5 seconds. We don't have to worry about him. We're watching the final spot on the podium. 2 laps to go. It'll be 1 lap to go this time for Mark Keatman. He'll pick up the white flag, but the battle is still back here for 3rd. Some troubles here on the server. It does look like a couple drivers blinking in and out here, but it is going to be Keatman as he works through turn 2 for the final time here tonight. Mark Keatman will come across the line as your race leader. It'll be Devin Landry coming across in 2nd. 3rd will go to O'Danick, and Little will just run out of time. He will finish in the 4th spot. 5th will go to RS Center. Then it's going to be Brad Carpenter, Rusty Modesty, Harold Rothery, Luke Baldwin, and Tom Scully. Your finishing order here tonight. So Keatman will be your race winner here tonight, as we'll see if we can hone in on him. Keatman, the driver out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, winning this one here for his father in his father's ride. So Keatman wins. Landry in 2nd, reverse order from last week's finish. O'Danick, though, picking up the final spot here. We'll be back with your post-race show. As Keatman burns them down, we'll get the interview.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Concord Speedway race fans for the RS Button Boxes Big Ten Super Series week number 2 here. 75 laps in the blistering sun. I believe I have a little sunburn on my head after visiting the Karma Salon and Day Spa, being down here in the sun all day long. But, well, Al, it's time to go down trackside. I believe you have already caught up in victory lane with our winner out of Kannapolis, North Carolina.
I have him down here in RS Button Box Victory Lane here with the driver of that number 52 of Mark Keatman. And Mark, we talked last week, you finished one spot out of Victory Lane. This week, well, you park it in Victory Lane and you put a whipping on these boys out here tonight. How'd you get it done?
Well, I think most of it was, that invert we had starting on the front road definitely helped out a lot. I was kind of worried a couple restarts that we had that Devin was going to be able to, pin me down on the outside and get around me, but I don't know how, but I was able to hold him off. But overall, it was just a great race. The track was absolutely blistering out there.
Yeah, we noticed, we were talking about that. Roger's still looking for some bacon if you can find some anyways. But we noticed the track temperature, 140 plus degrees out there. How difficult is that? Concord already one of probably the most technical and difficult short tracks on the service. But then add the temperature to it in a very, very, very sunny, hot day here in Concord. How tricky was it to keep those tires happy underneath these high-powered super late models?
Yeah, no doubt that this place is, hard to get around, but the temperature made it super hard. There was a couple of times where I got a little excited just trying to push the car, and I just had to tell myself, it's a short race, but it's a long race too. So just to keep the tires underneath me, I just had to be really disciplined.
Well, you walk out of here, you're going to be tied for the championship standings, I believe, by my math, coming into week number 3 next week, 60 laps. But to do that, you were tonight's Johnson Chassis Works clean driver of the race, and you pick up that win. And then you also get to choose how many times the RS Button Box invert wheel will spin, and you get to choose between 1 and 5, and that'll do 2 to 10 cars for a full field invert is the most that can happen here for next week. How many spins on that wheel would you like to have?
Let's go with lucky number 3. Why not?
Here you heard it there. Number 3 will be 3 spins. We'll find out what the number will be in 1 week's time to set the field for next week's race here at Concord. But man, that 52 looked beautiful out there in front. We know that's a throwback and a tribute to your dad's race car. But who helped you make it all possible here to get you in victory lane on night number 2 for the RS Button Box Big Ten Super Series?
Oh yeah, like I said last week, I really want to thank Jonathan Gasson for putting this paint scheme together. It really means a lot to me to be able to run it, especially here. There's a lot of heritage behind it. also my dad, just for getting me into racing and supporting me in just about anything I do, and my friends and family.
Well, congratulations on picking up the win. Roger, 3 spins on the RS Button Box invert wheel next week. And I believe you caught up with a man who is sitting second. Congratulations to our race winner, Mark. And we'll see you next week right here in Concord.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun.
All right, now we'll send it over to my counterpart, Roger Muth, down just the left side on the racetrack here tonight. And standing by with our second place finisher.
Devin Landry is the guy that's going to finish second here tonight. Devin, you won last week. You got kind of bit by that invert. You had to start to the outside here on the initial start of this race, but you had a chance on a couple of those restarts. What more did you need here tonight to go up there and run with Mark Keatman?
Definitely a cooler track. It's just way too hard to keep up on this hot track, especially when you're trying to push it to stay with him, and it just doesn't work out. The track really played a factor.
So you're saying the hot track temperature here tonight is what, maybe made you slip? Did you use the tires up too early, maybe with these high track temperatures?
Not at all. I had probably the best tires. I just couldn't make it work whatsoever.
Well, the greatest thing about this is the temperature, looking 7 days into the future, looks like it may drop a little bit, so that's going to be a good thing. You might come out of here tied for that points championship lead, and when you look at the future, though, 3 races to go. Next week will be the shortest. No tires again allowed down into the pits. How do you prepare? Can you take anything away from this week's race for next week?
Definitely to make the move earlier. If we didn't get that second caution, I think I could have got the lead. So maybe just to try to get in front of him, maybe with the invert, we'll be able to start up ahead of him and get away from him. But I definitely think those last 2 longer races we'll have a better shot.
So what you're telling me is the short runs for this car are maybe a little bit on something we need to work on, but the long run speed underneath these cars, you guys haven't figured out.
Yeah, I have to get a rhythm. I'm never good short run, so if we only get 15 lap runs, it's just so hard to make something happen. But if it gets extended to 40 laps, I'm perfectly fine.
Well, it still is a solid race for you here tonight, Devin, who makes this all possible back home in the shop that gets it ready.
Well, first off, I missed him last week, but I forgot to say Mr. Ryan Kuhn, RKM Setup Shop, Studio 10 Wraps, my parents for letting me do this, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, there you hear it. The Ryan Kuhn's Motorsports driver will come home here tonight in second. Started second, won last week's race, so off to a good start here to start off the Concord Home Track Series. Devin Landry, your second place runner here tonight. And Al, I believe the driver that had a fistful of everything here tonight is the driver that you have caught up with, who finishes in the 3rd position.
Yeah, I'm down here standing next to that fistful of bourbon, number 15 of Kyle Odanik. And Kyle, you had a great battle all race long. You had to start in the 8th. You're going to come home with the Karma Salon and Day Spa Hard Charger Award here tonight, and I'm sure that that's going to come in handy that they can get yourself relaxed for next week's race after a hard battle here tonight.
Yeah, that was a lot of work to get through there. The track was definitely difficult, but once things spread out, just got to work and started making my way forward.
Talk about how difficult the track was. We heard, from Keatman and Landry just saying how just difficult it was to try to keep the tires underneath you, keep the car straight, and then have to do that while battling with RS Center, battling with Jeremy Little, and battling with the rest of the field as you came from the 8th spot here tonight.
Yeah, the most difficult thing for me was restarts. I kept getting on the inside and kept getting pinched down, and with a slick track, it's difficult to make passes that way. But once it got spread out, like I said, was able to move forward. But we're all in the same playing field. It's all level, so we're all just doing what we can.
We had a decent night last week. You're going to pick up some points here tonight with a top 3 finish. Looking forward to next week. We'll have a 60-lapper. What else do you need out of this from the driver's seat and car standpoint to maybe get up there 2 more rungs on the ladder to be in victory lane?
Some help with that invert would be nice. If the weather's anything like it was tonight, track position is pretty important. I might have had something for the top two tonight with a late restart, but it's hard to say. Yeah, I mean, track position when it's tough to pass like that is all important.
Well, you come home with that third place finish. We know that there's a slew of people you need to thank for this third place here tonight at the Concord Speedway.
Yeah, all the guys over at Jim Beaver Esports, helped me out a lot with this, and obviously Fistful of Bourbon on board, and yeah.
Well, congratulations on your third place finish. We hope to see you next week. Maybe we'll see you in that victory lane for the RS Button Box Super 10 or Big 10 Super Series here for the home track series at Concord. But until then, man, you stay safe out there and keep it wheels down. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we can get there.
All right, Roger. That is the driver of that number 15 going to come home in spot number 3 here tonight. Picks up the Karma Salon and Day Spa Hard Charger Award as well. That's the driver of the 15 of Kyle Odanik.
So a great race here tonight for round number 2 for the RS Button Box's Big Ten Super Series. And Mark Keatman will park car number 52 in victory lane. You heard from him. You heard from the 26 of Devin Landry. And Kyle Odanik, you heard him in the Fistful of Bourbon number 15 coming home. P number 3. Jeremy Little had a very fast car here tonight. RS Center unfortunately falling back at the end of this one. He'll finish in that 5th position with Carpenter rebounding to finish 6th. 7th will go to Rusty Modesty. 8th will go to Rothery in car number 1. Baldwin in the 7NY falls back to position number 9. And Tom Scully will round down the 10-car field here that did make our A main feature event here tonight at the Concord Speedway. A great showing here. Next week's race, we're going to pull back that lap count just a little bit. 75 laps it was here tonight. 125 laps it was opening night here. Well, how about we throw it right down at the low end of that, cut the first race in half, and how about we go 60 laps the distance next week right here at the Concord Speedway. No tires will be allowed down into the pits, so we will see these drivers start the race and finish the race on the same tires like we did here tonight. Put on one heck of a show. I can't wait to come back here next week, just 7 days from now, but unfortunately, Al, you're going to have to take the reins next week. I'm going to be out of town and sending me out on a little bit of an assignment, and, well, I'll see what kind of homework I can get done for you as the next week you get to bring the 60 laps for the Big Ten Super Series.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. After 2 weeks into the books, we've had exciting racing. We have 2 drivers at the top of this one, Keatman and Landry, really showing that both of them have the muscle to get in the victory lane. Each have 1 win each in the first 2 weeks. Will we have a third different winner next week? And, well, that wheel, the RS Button Box invert wheel, will be spun 3 trips around to see what invert the field will have next Sunday night. To find out what that is, well, you'll have to tune in right here to the Turn 3 Racing Network.
So for everybody here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, everybody with the Big Ten Super Series, RS Button Boxes, Karma Salon and Day Spa, and Johnson Chassis, we thank you all for tuning in here tonight to the Concord Speedway to watch the Big Ten Super Series. Till we catch you back here in action next week at the same track, same time, same place. We hope all you race fans stay safe, and we can't wait to see you at the races.